Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordan or Jorwish and I'm back with another video. Before we get started, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. If you like it, share with a friend. You know, let's get it popping. Okay, so as you can tell by the title, we're just going to be doing a law school pre-law Q&A. I recently got in and turned in my seat deposit, everything for law school, so it is just a great weight lifted off my shoulders, let me tell you. That's why I've been so inconsistent. Well, that's one of the reasons, I ain't gonna lie. One of the reasons I've been so inconsistent with my channel is because I've been, you know, studying for the LSAT, getting my apps together, all that good stuff. Before we start the Q&A, I'm just gonna start off with some background information. So I'm currently a senior, a graduating senior at UCLA. My major is political science. My GPA right now is about a 3.8. And yeah, we're just gonna get into the question. Okay, so the first question that we have, how did I study for the LSAT? So I get this question a lot. I studied with LSAT Engine. I can link them down below, not sponsored or anything like that. And they're basically an online tutoring service. I got introduced to them because at the Black Pre-Law Association, they had an event. LSAT Engine came. I think the creator or someone in LSAT Engine went to UCLA or something like that. So they really pushed UCLA students to use that. It was great. I loved it. At first, I was really apprehensive about an online service. I was like, you know, I'm the type of person, I don't need to be in a classroom for the LSAT. I was like, I want a one-on-one tutor. You know, I wanted a tutor. And then I looked it up, and tutors are like $200 to $300 an hour. And I was like, ooh, dang. So the online version, I think it was like, I'm not sure on the price. I'll look it up. I'll try to be a good editor. I'll look it up, and I'll actually have it on the screen here for you all because I don't remember the price. But I do know UCLA students, the event that I went to, they gave us like a $200 promo code, which was nice. No longer works. The one I use, because I've been trying to put people on, but apparently it doesn't work anymore. LSAT Engine really helped me. I highly recommend an online service just because I know the LSAT classes, just that time that it takes for you, especially if you're doing it during the school year like I did, the time that it would take me, I didn't have a car, so I couldn't like drive to like a classroom or anything like that. And I am also bi-coastal between East and West Coast, so having something online where I could really do it whenever, wherever, and set my own schedule, that really helped me. And I did not self-study. Basically how LSAT Engine works, I'm really like a spokesperson for them now. They, I think you start off with a diagnostic. You take the diagnostic, that's everything. My diagnostic was terrible. Like, it was terrible. I did not have the mental stamina. I think by the end of it, after the first 2 sections, I was just bubbling in anything because I wanted to get it over with. Which is the attitude you should have for diagnostic, honestly. It doesn't really matter unless, I don't know. I just wanted to get it over with to just start studying. So after I took that, they kind of like do these lesson plans for you, and you have this whole schedule on it. I'll try to screen record, and oh no, I can't because my membership is over. But they outline lesson plans for you, and then within that lesson plan, you take these quizzes that really help you stay on track. They have a whole schedule for you. You tell them when you want to take it, and then they basically outline how many hours a week you should do it. If you look at my older vlogs where I am studying for the LSAT, I do kind of show you what they would do for me, and that really helped me stay on track. And then also I like seeing my progress. I like seeing my scores, so that really helped me. And they have people you can email if you have questions, stuff like that. Which are really responsive. Yeah, so LSAT Engine really worked. I think they're really good. The next question is, how long did I study for the LSAT? So I studied, it was like a rocky road, okay? I started studying New Year's, January 1st, 2019. So when I started studying studying for the LSAT, and that was kind of like my New Year's resolution. I was supposed to start it that Thanksgiving. I was supposed to start studying Thanksgiving break, and I pushed it off to winter break, and then I pushed it off. I was like, okay, that's my New Year's resolution, to start studying for the LSAT. This was my 3rd year of college, my 3rd year. So I think that's a good time to start. I think January is a good time to start, and I aimed to take it in June. That ended up not happening. I think around like March, April, I pushed my June date back to July, just because 1, I was not ready. 2, it would be during finals week of school, and I'm on the quarter system, so it would be like I would have finals for my classes and the LSAT, and I was just I thought I could do it, but it was too much. I wanted to do it in June because I was like, oh, I want to have a summer, you know, I don't want to spend my summer studying for the LSAT, but I needed to be like, Jordan, you know, you're gonna have to make sacrifices and just study for the LSAT for the summer. So that's what I did. So yeah, I guess you could say I studied from January to July 15th, I think is the day that I took the LSAT. Okay, next question is, how long before the LSAT should you start studying? Okay, this is like I have mixed thoughts on this. I think the reason why it took me so long to study was because I was studying while I was in school. So it wasn't like I was only studying for the LSAT when I was studying for the LSAT. I was studying I had classes up in the middle of that. I had papers I had to write. So it was really hard to decide, okay, should I study for this test for my class so I can have a good grade so to help my application? Or should I study for this test? And, you know, somehow I just worked it out. I think I definitely prioritized my schoolwork over the LSAT. I didn't really buckle down and get serious about the LSAT until I really had nothing else to study for, and it was during the summer. That's when I got my most grind in. So I think if you're someone who's like taking it during the summer and that's the only thing you're doing it, I really think you can probably bust it out in like 2, maybe 3 months. But it took me like a long time because it is a whole new way of thinking, and I wasn't as disciplined with it. If you even saw my vlogs, you would see I'm coming back from the club at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and then getting up at 7 to study for the LSAT. Like, yeah, I was studying for it, but was I really, you know, in the right state to be doing that? Probably not, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think on average usually like 6 to 7 months is like pretty standard. Best ways to study for the LSAT. I think the best way is like a online prep course, some sort of course. You can use Khan Academy. I know people who do well with Khan Academy. Just me personally, I needed like some sort of structure, and to me the Khan Academy person was just talking too slow. I don't know, I just didn't like it. But I think the best way to do it is to set out a schedule. I definitely had a schedule. I literally had little reminders everywhere, like study for the LSAT, study for the LSAT. I had like blocks of time, because with LSAT Engine they tell you how many hours you should be studying, or like how many hours of lessons you should do, and they say that after those lessons you should do at least half or like that same amount of time studying, just going over the material. Was I doing that? No, I was just doing the lesson time, maybe some extra time to study. But I think blocking out time, like if you're about to choose classes, make sure you choose maybe later classes, because the best way to study is like to get up at the time that the LSAT would be. So originally I was taking an 8 a.m., 8 something, maybe 8:30 a.m. LSAT, so that's why I was getting up at 7 to study, so that I would be used to doing that kind of stuff early in the morning. Now I ended up taking like a 12 p.m. LSAT. I will do an LSAT horror story for you all, because it was literally a hot mess. Oh, if you want it, because I know that could stress you out. But yeah, so I would say to study during, like around the time you're going to take the test. They tell you the time you're going to take it, so use that way. And to study in a quiet space. I wouldn't recommend Starbucks or anything like that. Starbucks are pretty loud. And I would do it in a desk setting. I would do it somewhere where you can be focused and where it is kind of private, you know, because I just didn't like a bunch of people around when I was doing it also. What is something that I wish I knew before I started the whole law school process? Okay, I didn't really go in completely blind. Okay, I'm one of my closest friends. She's doing her first year in law school right now, so I was kind of guiding in her footsteps. So shout out to Aunt and shout out to Alicia, because they really helped me with all this. But so I wasn't completely blind. But one thing I wish I knew before I started the process, I kind of wish I had more of an idea of what school I wanted to go to before, because I was I guess I was going in blind for that. You know, I didn't necessarily have like a target LSAT score that had some weight behind it. You know, I had a target score because I thought that was just a good score. But it wasn't like, okay, I want to go to this school, so I need to get this score so I can go to that school. I didn't go into it like that at all. And I wish I knew that, because I would have saved so much stress and probably some money also. I wish I knew what kind of school I wanted to go to, because once you know that, you can really tailor your application to that. When did I submit my applications? So this is a good question. If you're not familiar with the process, you're probably like, what do you mean when? Like just the deadline? No. Law school has like a rolling admission rate, and there's a really big window for when the application comes out and when it's due. So it comes out around like, I think around like Labor Day weekend, like early September or something like that, and the applications close around mid-March. So you can submit them as early as like, you know, September, October. That was not me. I submitted my applications. Okay, so I was supposed to submit them December. I wanted to do them before winter break so that during winter break I could have my winter break. You see this cycle that I have, like I just want my breaks instead of like working during breaks. I have the same idea for the summer, whatever. So I was supposed to do it December 15th. That was not going right, so I pushed it back and I submitted my first application, which was to Howard University School of Law on January 20th. It was Martin Luther King Day. I remember that. I submitted it that day. I was trying to submit all of them that day, but I didn't have enough money. So I did that one school. I'm not even an admissions officer. I should have stated this in the first thing. I'm not an expert on any of this. I'm just saying from my experience, okay? The next question is, how many letters of rec did I have? I had 3 letters of rec, and I was really nervous about that because at the last minute I found out Georgetown needed, well, not needed, but like accepted more than 3. I always wanted to max out everything because I was just so superstitious. I was like, well, what if, you know, they only look at people that have, they say they require 1, but they let you send up to 3. So what if they just knock out everyone who doesn't send 3? Like I was just thinking like that, which is not the case. Okay, people, that was not true. I submitted 3 letters of rec. 2 were from professors and 1 was from a manager that I had at internship. At a law firm. How many schools did I apply to? I applied to, I want to say like 5. I think 5 or 6 schools. I applied to, I wanted to live in DC. Location was a big thing for me, so I applied to Howard, American, GW, Georgetown, and then I applied to like 2 other random schools that were just like emailing me hella, and I was like, okay, well, if I don't get in anywhere, I'm gonna get in these places, so let me just be on the safe side. And I think that's good. Like I feel like people, if you're applying to like a bunch of schools for law school, like more than 5 schools, then either you got some money, because it is expensive to apply to those schools. It's around $100 per school you apply to. Even if you get a fee waiver, it's really not a fee waiver because there's all these hidden fees anyways. You either got a whole lot of money or, you know, you got someone paying for it. I don't know, but that is an expensive process for sure. So I kind of wish I didn't apply to all those schools because I would have saved some money, but you know, it worked out, so it's fine. Why did I choose Howard for law school? I love this question. I was kind of fed up with, you know, being the only black girl in a lot of spaces, so I think that's why a lot of people choose to go to an HBCU. So I kind of wanted that, and I knew law school would be my last opportunity to get that HBCU experience. I wanted to go to school in DC because I just felt like DC, well, for one, I'm from DC, so I'm biased, but also I knew that if I wasn't going to go to like a top 14, top 10 school, then I would need a location with a really good network, and DC has everything you can imagine, especially pertaining to law, like all the opportunities. I also wanted a school where I didn't have to back up the name. Howard is not as big of a name as UCLA, but it's still, to me, I count it as a name brand school. So I did want like some sort of a name brand school where, like, you know, I say the name, people know what I'm talking about. I do have like family connections at Howard. My dad went there for undergrad. My dad taught there for like 10 years. He worked there for like 10, 20 years. So I kind of grew up around the law school. And I was just like, growing up, I was like, no, I don't want to go to Howard. Why would I want to go to Howard? I'm always at Howard. I went to Howard daycare. You know, why? I want to go somewhere else. I wanted to change. But, you know, I'm coming full circle. And now what do I want to do? I want to go to Howard. I want everything like that. I really took it for granted when I was growing up. So, yeah, and I wrote about that in my personal statement. It was always my first choice. That's why I said I wish I kind of knew that I wanted to go there a little earlier, because then I wouldn't have been so stressed out with LSAT. The requirements for Howard are not as big as like a Harvard, Yale. So I wish I would have just been realistic with myself and been like, you know, if I would have gotten into Harvard or Yale, would I have gone? And I just thought, no, you know, I know what that type of environment is like, and I did not want that for my law school experience. Did I have help? Yes and no. I had help. Like, I had my own network of little law school people. You know, I had people I could ask questions to, like fellow students. I had some law school students I could ask, but I didn't really have a mentor, and I was freaking out about that. I just felt like, oh my gosh, if I didn't have a mentor, I'm doomed. I didn't have a pre-law advisor, I'm doomed. And, you know, look at me now. I mean, I'm I don't know if I'm that great off, but I'm not as doomed, you know, I'm not doomed. And I spent summers, I would email people constantly saying, hey, I'm looking for a mentor. Can you help a sister out? You know, not that, but like, you know, something like that. And it really didn't really take off that way. I've kind of learned that those type of relationships, the best ones just happen organically, you know, not just you trying to, at least for me, it doesn't really work that way for me ever in life. But I still had help, as in like I had people that I knew from UCLA in law school, and they kind of helped me. But I didn't have a pre-law advisor, and I even applied to be in UCLA's, because everyone would be like, oh, you should do UCLA Law Fellows. They help students, you know, they help students so much. You should do UCLA Law Fellows. I didn't get in to UCLA Law Fellows, and that really took a toll on me. I don't take rejection well, period, but when it's something like a pre-law, something I didn't get in, I'm like, universe, is this you telling me that I'm not meant to be a lawyer? Like, what the hell? I didn't get in, and then all my friends that got in, they aren't even going to law school now. I'm just like, what? But you know, that whatever, you know, they missed out on me. But whatever, you know, I did it without the help of UCLA pre-law, UCLA Law Fellows, whatever. I just wanted to say that you don't have to be in this specific program to apply to go to law school. You can do it just off of looking things up and just taking that initiative on yourself. You can ask me questions as well, but it does take initiative to do it, but it's not possible. Why do I want to study law? I hate this question because I'm just like, especially when I have to answer this for my personal statement, it's kind of like, look, like I've taken this test, I've done all this, and now you want to know why? Like, why can't you just let me in? Just let me in. Why do I gotta say why? But like a lot of people, I've always wanted to be a lawyer. You know, I just always saw that for myself. I like to, you know, represent the unrepresented. I like to be able to be a voice for people. And I like to invoke change. What I kind of focused my thing on was like fighting discrimination, because I don't like that either, and just social justice. So that's where I'm at right now with why I want to be a lawyer. And of course, watching How to Get Away with Murder, all that, you know, I want to do it. So yeah. This one is, how do you think your major has prepared you for law school? This was an interesting question. I want to answer this later though. I'll probably do another one of these, like a law school update when I actually start law school. If I start it with this whole virus around, but because I don't know. I've never done anything like it. Political science, to me, it's just the basic generic major. Decided on a major because that was the closest thing I could get to a pre-law something at UCLA, so I don't really know, but I'm curious. I'm also curious like you. The last thing that I will answer are like my acceptances and things like that. Oh, and my scores. So my GPA was a 3.8. I took the LSAT one time and one time only. Thank Jesus, I did not feel like taking it again. And my score was not the best at all. I got a 151 on the LSAT. Now that score, shoot, after the day I had taken that test, I just wanted above a 150. I was in the middle of Europe, I got an email. First of all, they send you the score. Your score is in the subject line. I was trying to be discreet about it. It's in the friggin' subject line. I got a 151. I was like, okay, it's above 150. For Howard, I knew if I got over 150, I'll be fine. I got a 151. I was like, you know, that's the school I want to go to, so shoot, period. And I applied to, I told you the schools. I got into American University. Oh, I also applied to Hofstra. I forgot to mention that. Hofstra. I got into Howard. Waitlisted at GW. Waitlisted for Georgetown. And then yeah, that's it. So Howard was, I didn't know this at the time, but Howard, they gave me a scholarship, an academic scholarship. As long as I stay in like the top 50% of my class all 3 years, the scholarship will renew all 3 years. So I was like, okay, bet. The other schools just gave me loans. Hofstra gave me money too, but I didn't want to live in New York, so it worked out perfectly. I did email Howard to ask for more money. That was a fail. He said no. But, you know, whatever, I'm still gonna go there. That's pretty much it. I think that law school application process is very daunting, very stressful, but I think the thing that you should just do is just to get started, and to get started early. Not too early, like if you're in high school and watching this, kudos to you, but don't stress yourself out too early. But just know, you know, if you know you want to go to law school in high school, get to college and get good grades. You know, I used to hate when people say this, but it really is, you know, get good grades, study for the LSAT, get a decent score, get a good score if you want to go to like a really, really, really high school. But like me, I'm fine with the score that I got. Everyone was telling me, you know, because the way I was practicing, my score that I would get when I practiced was way higher than a 151. I was like at least 10 points higher. And so everyone was like, you should retake it. And I was telling them that, you know, when I took the LSAT, we started 2 hours late. It was this whole thing. That I was fine with the 151 because I was just so stressed out. I didn't want to put myself through that stress again. And they're like, you know, you could get way more money with the score, like what you would usually get, Jordan. Like, and I was just like, honestly, whatever. Okay, just whatever. I'm gonna be in debt regardless. I'm tired of being stressed out. So I just settled with the score and I was fine with that, and look at me, it turned out fine. So thank you, Jesus, that I made it this far. I'm so excited for the journey to come. I'm so excited for like law school vlogs, all that stuff. And it's crazy that I'm really about to go to law school. I think it's literally insane because I've been through so many mental breakdowns, so many crying, so much hot mess, but it was definitely all worth it. And when I tell you, once you get your first acceptance letter, you're just gonna feel like on top of the world. I still feel on top of the world. You know, you just feel invincible. I feel invincible. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. But yeah, that's it. I'm rambling now. But thank you all so much for all the questions and all the support on this journey. Give this video a thumbs up. If you want me to do a part 2, I probably could if you have more questions, because I'm not doing that now. I'm pretty bored. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Comment down below any questions or anything else you may want to know. And yeah, I can't wait to be a little HU, you know, Howard girl. I need to get my merch on so I can get the cute pics coming. I'm just so excited for my next chapter. I'm so excited to be done with UCLA. Child, I'm so excited to be done. Goodness. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll be back shortly with another video. Bye.